In case you missed it, our band was playing Deck the Halls. And the phrase of Deck the Halls is calling us to decorate our homes, our spaces, and to bring festive protection and symbolic evergreen holly into our home and our spaces, and today into our community here at UUCP. A custom with this song bridges ancient pagan traditions and modern Christmas festivities. And we have not planned this, so I'm going to ask the band to play it again and invite you to sing. It is a very common song, and you probably have a clue to the words. So just get started enjoying Deck the Halls. Please, Meg.
Nancy, I've learned from Pensacola Veterans Course that it's one hall.
Oh, it's only one hall, I'm corrected, okay. So deck the hall with boughs of holly, and this is our hall. So please, Maggie, introduce us. La, la, la. Great if we knew the second verse. Do we know the second verse? I do. Some people do.
Hear the season, hear recalling, la
la la la la. They were not anticipating that. So now that we have one hall to decorate, which we have, and I do appreciate so many people that have contributed to the beauty of our congregation and this space that we share together. I'm going to give us a moment with a chime, and then welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. My name is Nancy Hagman, and I will be your service leader today. Today's combination is an honoring of the return of the light and the appreciation for the value of the darkness with winter solstice. And in that, we also honor our families that bring us light. And today it's called the Holy Family Service. And we will learn more about that as the time goes on. There were no written announcements up here, which is extremely unusual, which is okay because there are lots of things still happening in this congregation. And lots of announcements indicates lots of activity, and that's exciting. But I do want to highlight a few things. The Circle Dinners, which is a creative way to get to know one another, are happening in January, and Linda Cobb will be organizing that. We also have some listening sessions. We're planning our 5-year plan. It's time for us to look ahead for 5 years. And one of those listening sessions will be today after service, and you are welcome to join in any of the 5 or all of the 5 if you'd like. And the next one will be on December the 28th, which is next Sunday. If you have any questions, Brett, I love it when people give me notes and don't give me everything, and then I have to think on my own, right? So Brett Ramsey will be in charge of gathering and responding to questions. There is a Christmas Eve service that we have here each year. You know, it's interesting, sometimes people say, I don't know your traditions, and they're right, because our traditions continue to repeat, but sometimes you have to be here 3 years before you see and expect the same traditions. This year, again, one of our traditions is a Christmas Eve candlelight service. We do it at 5 o'clock, trying to be convenient for everyone that does all exciting things on Christmas Eve. And we also honor our staff at this time in appreciation. So there will be a collecting of any kind of financial support that you would like to give. Joe Vinson will be taking the money, and we will assume that Joe Vinson will use that money, will not keep that money, and sure. Joe's going to talk a little bit more. Excuse me?
I'll clarify, if I may. So it's a little confusing, but there's a few things happening with our collections. So today and next Sunday, the collections that are taken up during our offering, anything that is not already identified as a pledge donation, that offering will go towards our staff. So people like Honor and Mike, the people who work for the church, this is our end of year gift to them as we will collect today and next week. So if your offering normally comes out as part of like a bank deduction or something, if you still want to throw something into the offering plate today, that will go towards the staff, and it will also happen next Sunday. That will be part of the staff donation. On Christmas Eve, at the 5 o'clock service, we take another collection, and that collection will go towards our member assistance fund. So any funds that go in there go into a fund that we make available for members of the church who, for whatever reason, need a little bit of help during the year. We have that fund available, and this is how we replenish it, is through the collection on Christmas Eve. So it's a little bit different, but those are the different things going on. I will not be individually collecting anything. These will be part of the regular offerings. I'm not touching the money. All right. Thank you.
We forgive you.
Isn't it great that you don't know about everything, and we have people that do? So good to have it. Okay, I'm going to invite Rick up for our chalice lighting. As we light the chalice, may we, as Unitarian Universalists, reclaim and reinterpret old traditions that are part of our heritage, as well as exploring new ideas, whether we are finding renewal among people who are very special to us, or that are doing the work of justice, or even as we repair our relationships. Our sacred sense of love and connection run through it all. We are honoring the winter solstice today at the longest night and the shortest day of the year, in addition to our Holy Family in the light that they bring to us year-round. Thank you, Rick. And now I invite Michael Newcomb to come and light the Advent wreath.
Fourth Sunday Advent. Advent encourages us to be present in each moment of waiting. Advent is about the new story being written in our lives. In this time of Advent, may we hold the world in our hearts, hold each other close, and may we be thoughtful and introspective.
Thank you, Michael and Rick. Our opening words. We are taking this time to celebrate the diversity of families that we embrace in our faith community. Although the festivities of winter holiday gatherings may revolve around different stories and different themes, like Christmas or Hanukkah, winter solstice or Kwanzaa, all winter festivities celebrate the connections that we share with our families and our communities. We also know that for many people, the holiday season is a personally difficult one, whether it be from a lack of enthusiasm for a variety of reasons, or even a sadness or a loneliness that is common to those of us who have experienced family and community relationships that have been marked by painful separation. As Unitarian Universalists, when we celebrate a holy family service at this time of the year, we're lifting up all the varieties of family configurations that surround us. We recognize that the ties that bind us to each other can bring great joy and comfort at times, and at other times can provide us with challenging opportunities for personal growth in our lives. We celebrate our families of birth, our families of choice, and our families of faith. Today, we will have 3 families that will share themselves with us on this shortest day of the year and bring their light to us. Now, enjoy some centering music with Lee Poteat, who is going to play A Great and Mighty Wonder. May you please stand in body and/or spirit and join us in our opening hymn, number 346, in your gray hymnal. Come sing a song with me. Thank you. And our covenant is on the screen if you will join us in our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and its service is law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. I've really never been known for following directions. And I have completely forgotten to welcome new people. And fortunately, standing up here, I have the privilege of seeing people that have not been in our congregation before, or perhaps that I've met them before and I don't remember because what I call they shapeshift. They wear their hair differently, they wear different clothes, they have purple hair, their shoes are pink, whatever it is. And I introduce myself and they go, oh yeah, I met you at blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great, please remind me. So I want to make sure that you feel welcome, whether you're here in person or online. We record our services each week, and we post them shortly after the service. So welcome. You are welcome here. I hope you find warmth and a home that you're looking for in our community. And now I have the privilege of introducing one of the people in our congregation as the first speaker of our Holy Family, and his name is Ric Kindle. I would like for us all to clap at this point because we're going to have three families. And rather than clapping after each family, in case there's a louder clap for one or the other, I don't want that to happen. We don't want hurt feelings here, okay? So what I really would like to do for because all the way through the service we're going to have three different families speak, we're going to clap now at the beginning for all three of them, and we will clap after the last one for all three of them, and then we can have our clapping and appreciation. And I encourage you to speak to each of them individually and give them your appreciation for their sharing at that time. So a big clap for all three families. Thank you very much. And now it's Ric Kindle. Welcome, Ric.
Good morning. It's been a minute since I spoke to people and at this, like looking out at you, so might be a little bit nervous. So when Nancy asked me to do this, she gave me an outline of the questions, and I had to think back, like when I first heard about UU, and it was years ago. I was asked to come do an estimate on painting the sanctuary or this room. And I don't think it was right when the remodel happened. I think it was after the fact. Didn't get the job, but that's okay. But I did come after that, and I saw a lot of people that I know personally in the community. And I was like, oh, wow, Scotty, and there's just a bunch of people that I had seen that I've known for, years at that point, and now like 25 years. So I came to a service, and at that time I was going to a different church, and I was like, wow, it's like-minded people. And that's kind of the thread that ties all this together for me. So when it was probably 2 years ago that I've started coming regularly to UU, I had stopped going to church. I had stopped, kind of subtracted myself from a lot of things in my life, and I got to that point where I was like, I need to be around people on Sunday morning, And then I remembered UU and the warmth I felt from the people when I came that one time years ago. And I was like, okay, so I just showed up and been showing up ever since. The most important thing to me about coming here, it says as a family, but I'm a family of one, me and my dog, and I usually sit with Laura. I've known her for 25 years, so. But the most important thing about coming here every week, or as I can, is the feeling of community. Like-minded people come together, and they might have different spiritual paths. There might be a Hindu, there might be a Buddhist, there might be a Christian, there's so many different labels that I don't tend to put a label on anything like that. I think there's many paths to the same light. And but the diversity here is in people. There's colorful people, and it's just a really warm, supportive community for all the things that entail our lives. Let's see, the best part of Unitarian Universalism. I didn't realize when I started coming here how far back Unitarian Universalism went. It's got a long, long history that when I started looking into it, I was like, wow, it's been around 1800s and before. And then the combination of the two different churches, I think to me that what I have seen and heard is when the diversity started, it was all inclusive. You didn't have to be this, you didn't have to be that. You just showed up, and what you believe is right for you. And diversity is kind of a thing that is important to me. For years I did a festival that was all about diversity, all multi-genres of music. I believe that we're all different in our own ways, but there's a commonality in being human. And I believe that love is that thread that ties us all together. What I appreciate most about coming here is every Sunday it's structured to a point, but there's always a different viewpoint. There's a different perspective, and I think that's so important to be open to that. It's lay-led. I never had been to a lay-led congregation before. I really like that. Some Sundays, I write down in my little book, it might be 3 pages long. It really resonates. Some Sundays, it might be a half a page. But the whole thing is next Sunday it's going to be a different thing and a different perspective. And that, to me, is keeping the importance of diversity, the importance of we are all different in our own little ways, but we are all human. And we all can come together with a common belief. The divine shows up in our lives, everybody differently and every day. How we reflect that and what we do is important, and it's what a supportive community is about to me. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
It's just really hard for us not to clap. You know, it just is. Now is the time for our joys and concerns or sorrows. As Unitarian Universalists, we like to come together as just a community that is present at this point in time in our building and space. So we do not record our joys and sorrows for them to be distributed online so that you have the privacy of sharing in this community and people can know what is on your heart. We will light the first candle for those things that are heavy on our hearts many, many times about the broader world and what's going on in our lives beyond this community and beyond this space. So I invite you to come up and line up on either side and use the microphone. Please use your name and your pronouns and briefly speak of your joy and or sorrow. Laura. May the light now kindle us to look for a star in the dark, in that dark winter sky, to remember the stories of the people with whom we belong, and to celebrate new life, whether it be in the form of a precious baby, a returning light into our lives, or the recreation of communities and family. And now we will sing the children out. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. And during this time, we are going to have music that you can join in. And I want to speak a little bit about the holly and the ivy. The holly and the ivy were winter decorations symbolizing life and hope during harsh winters. They were deeply tied to the pagan traditions. Christian adaptations occurred in the early church, and they adopted these plants, linking the holly's thorns to Christ's suffering and its red berries to his blood, while the ivy represented the Virgin Mary and the church. Our band has agreed to play and sing along with the choir, and there will be words you can join in when you're ready.
And if I could just say something really quickly, I would love to hear more out of tune voices and voices that sound croaky, filling the room with whatever comes out of the heart.
Thank you. And you know, I'm not a musician, and sometimes I think I create magic, but I don't play music as a musician. And so consequently, when I ask for things, I just think people sit down and do them. I don't think about them practicing. And so over the last couple of weeks, we probably had, can't even tell you how many emails about what song and which one and what version. And so it really gave me an awareness of how gifted we are with our musicians and our choir, that they are so flexible and they know how to use text. And it has been a beautiful gift to our congregation, and I would appreciate an applause to all of the musicians and the choir members. And now I'm going to invite Lee Poteat to speak with us as one of our number 2 family, and he will represent both he and Lee.
Good morning. You know, there's in large letters up here, there's a reminder that says, "Speak slowly." I definitely want to remember that, otherwise I might rush through things. So today's service is about families, and I'm here representing not only myself, but my husband, Lee, who I love so dearly. He's working today, so he can get his Christmas bonus. But he and I are going to watch this service on YouTube later. All right, so I have some questions that were posed to me, and I'll be answering those. The first one is, how did we find out about this church? Well, I was a member of a UU church in Marietta, Georgia for 3 years, and that was really wonderful. How I found my way there is a story for another time, but in 2023, I was forced to start over in a new place and had to leave that church. I lived in Rome, Georgia for 2 years, and during that time, I tried but unfortunately failed to find a new UU family. Before moving to Pensacola in August, Lee and I researched many things, as you can imagine, including churches. And we even watched an old UUCP service on YouTube featuring Nancy Hagman, who on June 18th, 2023, delivered a message about queer history in this city. Moving here with our 5 dogs and everything we had was hard, but at the end of the first week, I turned to Lee in bed and asked if he wanted to give UUCP a try. Well, the next morning, Sunday, August 31st, we came for the first time, and we joined this program already in progress with no effort at all, making new friends and finding ways to contribute to the life of the church. The second question that I was asked to answer is, what were you hoping to find at UUCP? One of the things I appreciated most about my UU family in Georgia was their willingness to approach faith and spirituality from every angle, without sarcasm or bitterness. I'm gonna let that sink in, because it's hard. It's hard. Stillness and contemplation, honesty and vulnerability are important to me, and my hope was to find a community of people here who also value those things, and fortunately, I did. The next question is, what has been the most important thing for your family about coming here, UUCP? For me and Lee, being here has never meant feeling apprehensive or guarded. More than being accepted, we have been welcomed wholeheartedly, and we could not be more grateful. And the next question is, what do you like best about Unitarian Universalism? I love how inherently ecumenical UU services are. I imagine that many of you, like myself, were raised in what I will call American Christianity. Being part of a UU community gives us access to rich religious traditions and to parts of ourselves that we might have thought were lost forever. I could speak on that topic for a while, but the focus of today's service is family. So on to the next question. What do you appreciate most about your family this time of year? There are many reasons. There are many reasons that I'm grateful for my husband, Lee. For example, our perspectives balance each other in much needed ways, as I'm sure many couples in this room can attest with their partners. This time of year, and really throughout the year, Lee reminds me that nothing about the future is certain, and that we cannot put off enjoying and celebrating what is here now. No discussion of our family would be complete without mentioning our 5 dogs: Buddy, Luke, Daisy, Kane, and Oliver, my babies. They are precious beings who love without reservation, and they always keep things interesting. On behalf of both of us, I want to thank everyone at UUCP. We treasure the connections that we've made here, and we look forward to being part of this family for a long time to come. Thank you.
And now I welcome Bradley and Joe Vinson, and they have their youngest child, Elliot, who is MIA, at least at this point.
Hi, everyone. Joe Vinson here.
Bradley Vinson.
So I'm not going to follow the questions exactly as they were sent, but just talk a little bit about our family. Bradley and I have 3 kids. We're kind of a boring atomic family, but we each come from different kind of, not atomic families. I grew up in a blended family that was blended before I came along. I have 4 half-siblings, 2 from each of my parents' previous marriages, and I'll let you.
Oh, and I grew up as an only child of a single parent. I do have half-siblings, but I didn't get to meet them until much later.
And the way we got into UU, here, let's talk about our own, I guess, faith upbringings. I was raised in the Baptist church here in Pensacola. As I grew up, I kind of, started radicalizing myself. I was a Universalist before I knew what that was. Started going to, Presbyterian church with friends in high school. And eventually just kind of decided, I guess I'm not really religious. I don't really believe the things that I believed when I was growing up. And so I just kind of stopped going to church. And I'll talk more about this actually next month. I'm giving a service that'll have a little more autobiographical details, but I'll wait till then.
And I didn't attend church with my mother. I think that spirituality for me when I was much younger, she instilled in me a love of the environment, of nature. I think spirituality was my feet in a running stream, or taking a hike in the woods, or sitting on a very large rock in the mountains of North Carolina. And it wasn't until I was probably about our youngest child's age that I started attending a church with a friend of mine from school. My friend probably had been sent out from their youth group leader to gather up kids who didn't have a church home and give us a church home. So I did attend a First United Methodist Church for a while, and I vividly remember participating in a service project that was very similar to Habitat for Humanity. It was the Appalachian Service Project, And our team of 7 people, 2 leaders and five teenagers, would go out into various places in the Appalachian Mountains and fix up houses and do work with our hands. Real work is how it felt to me. And I remember thinking when we would have our evening gatherings that were very, very strongly based in Christianity, I thought, do we need all these extra trappings to do good things for other people? That's my upbringing.
So we, when our oldest child was still in a stroller, we actually came to UUCP a few times. I don't remember exactly how we were introduced to it. It might have been through Scott and Lauren, who we knew around that time, but I don't remember the details. But we stopped coming just because we liked sleeping in on Sundays, and this is kind of a far drive from our house. And so we didn't go to church of any kind for many, many years. And my parents said, well, you know, we want your kids, our grandchildren, to have some kind of religious upbringing. So if you're not going to church, we want them to come to Sunday school at our church. And we said, okay, that's fine. And I've given this kind of origin story a bunch, so if you've heard this, my apologies. And they liked it. They liked going, you know, and spending time with their grandparents, and that was fine. And then every now and then we would get emails from the Sunday school teachers about what was coming up in the next Sunday's Sunday school. And one week we got an email saying, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about. And it had this like 8-page PDF attached to it with every instance of the Bible talking about how homosexuality was wrong. And we said, okay, that's it. That's a wrap on First Baptist. We're not going there anymore. So that's when we decided we would give UUCP another shot, and we're very glad that we did. Those older kids didn't actually end up coming to church with us too often anyway, but Elliot has been, you know, much more invested in the CRE program here, and we have just so enjoyed having the fellowship with everyone here. And to Bradley's point, I think one of the things that I didn't see and I didn't realize what I was looking for in a religious experience was the call to action, the real world, you know, getting involved, doing justice. And again, I'll talk about this more next month, but I think that's something that you can definitely see in this church and in Unitarian Universalism is a call to action to do good in the world. And so I think that's a very important part about why our family has continued to be a part of this church.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll give a round of applause to all 3 of the families that contributed. When I talk to families or have speakers come or ask someone to speak, many people do not take that opportunity. They do not step up. The microphone is either intimidating or they say, I'm not a public speaker. But the value that we gain from learning individually about families and each other goes way deep, and the sharing is powerful. And once again, thank you very much to our 3 families willing to share their hearts. And we're going to close with a song that Mike and Rivka Kilmer wrote, and the words will be, Here Comes the Light, and the words will be on the screen.
Thoughts of darkness and of mending, leaves are falling, winds are bending, right as we most need it. Here comes the light.
I want the choir to be able to say the closing with us. And if you'll stand, we will say the words of the winter solstice blessing. Now is the time to honor the rebirth of the sun, to remember the light in the darkest part of the season, with hope of good things to come and the promise of renewed life. Go in peace, and blessed be.